Welcome to this presentation about Geovistory. Geovistory is a geographical historical information system that can be put online. What this means I'm going to present you now. In the middle of the screen you see a normal web map that you can pan and zoom. To the right you can choose different base map layers like this OpenStreetMap or satellite images. You can also choose overlays like historical maps. For example, this map of Emanuel Büchel of the year 1748. Since many historical maps are not oriented north, it's also possible to rotate the canvas. In the upper part of the screen you see the actual interface to the database. This database can theoretically store any kind of things and any kind of relations between those things. The data I'm going to present you now was gathered in the framework of a master thesis that analyzes how the city Basel began to geographically expand its lordship between 1400 and 1800. Let's therefore visualize all cities that are stored in the database. Cities in German Stadt. Now 4 cities do appear on the map and you can also see them in a table. In order to see the relations that those cities are involved in, you can choose here the type of the relation. Let's choose to see what belong to those cities. And these are administrative districts and bailiwicks. Now the table shows that the city of Basel, to the city of Basel belonged some bailiwicks. And you can also see when those relations did exist. And that's when we can use the time slider in order to animate the map. So this allows to slide through the time. Now I will add another layer to get more detailed information about the spatial organization of the Lordship of Basel, and therefore I choose another color and all the bailiwicks and this Amt, this administrative district. And I want to see what belong to those entities. These are now valleys, castles, villages, and so on. I'll now slide slowly through time, and this will show that Basel annexed and established its first bailiwicks in the south, and that then Farnsburg and Münchenstein became a part of Basel's lordship, as well as Riehen and Kleinhüningen in the 17th century. This shows how Geovistory integrates and visualizes temporal and spatial informations about theoretically any type of entities and relations between those entities. This very generic approach opens a variety of possible uses, like for example to show the development of lordship like here, or to show the development of trade, of migration, of social networks, and so on. An important idea that underlies this kind of visualizations is that we can explore quite complex datasets by means of a graphical interface, and that the visual output leads to new knowledge and also to new questions. I'm gonna illustrate this with one example. In blue we can see the bailiwicks, which are a secular organization. I'll add now in green the chapters, which are an ecclesiastical institution, a kind of assembly of pastors. And this shows quite a striking correlation between the blue and the green, between the secular and the ecclesiastical structure. Of course, this leads to the question, how come? What's the historical reason for this strong correlation between two structures or two organizations? I don't want to get into any details here, it's just to illustrate how such a visualization can lead to new questions. Hereby I end this first part of the demonstration, in which I hope to have shown some of the possibilities and the potential of geohistory. While the data about Basel's history was gathered specifically for the use in geohistory, we have recently imported a test dataset of the Swiss law sources, in German die Sammlung schweizerischer Rechtsquellen, that was not gathered specifically for geohistory. So the second part of this presentation is to show the compatibility of geohistory with pre-existing datasets. This is a dataset about 2,622 persons we know from written records out of the region Sarganserland. The persons are displayed at their place of residence. The size of the points represents the number of people living at a certain time and place. The table shows the persons together with their names. It's possible to order them alphabetically and also to search for a certain name. This dataset contains 48 Johannes. Every person has also a unique identifier which could be used to link to external information about this person. A slide through time does already reveal some patterns, although we have to be very carefully when we interpret this still very incomplete dataset. In the 13th and 14th century, many castles do appear as place of residence, as well as the monastery of Pfäfers and the bishop's see Chur. In the 15th century, the growing importance of the eidgenössischen Orte gets visible, and after the Reformation, many people from Zurich are mentioned in the written records of the region Sarganserland. And it gets clear that the region was actually not related to the city St. Gallen, although it belongs to this canton nowadays. This second part of the demonstration was to show that pre-existing data can be visualized in geohistory and that this reveals some hidden patterns that wouldn't be visible otherwise. So thank you for watching and have a nice day.